Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatsMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very welcome. Well, today we've got two very strong maps, both strong in different ways, both with a couple of beginner errors in them, but we're going to forgive them for that because we were all beginners at one point. Today's first map is a real-life location in Norway with some gentle amendments to it, which we will check when we get down there. And then the second map, boy is it classy looking, I tell you, the second map. Not that the first one isn't, but the second one, it's a Chinese map. We are looking at a first map. It has, again, one or two very basic beginner errors, but is it classy? Yes, it is. Both of these maps are stand out in their own individual ways, and I think you're going to enjoy both of them, which can only mean one thing. You're going to really like the show, and if you're going to really like the show, why not let me know now, before you forget. Thanks for your support. Okay, today's first map is Kvelda, Norway by AM9230. Today is all about the numbers in the creators, I tell you. AM9230. Well, I guess it's a radio station. Anyway, there's your start square. It's a fairly glossy looking river. The river is actually that exact shape. I had to check. I went down to Google Earth because it looks a bit lumpy, but it's not. It's actually like that in real life. Anyway, there's your terrain heights. Not all of Norway is the Lofoten Peninsula. Resources are a little bit light. We've got a little bit of oil. We've got a few trees to play with, though, haven't we? Okay, and then if you've got Sunset Harbour and want to do some fishing, it's mostly about the salmon and the anchovies. I would say that's a fairly pleasing rivers and lakes fishing map going on there. Off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, it's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. The list on the instructions on the left there, as you can see, the railway and highway exists on the map. The highway is 4-lane, but in real life, it's mostly national roads. It's been upgraded a little bit. Lillian's asked, what's the map theme? The answer is Green Mountain. It's not listed. We will be using Green Mountain because I can see it down there and that's how the map's supposed to be seen. However, when we get to the end of the review, the aesthetic score will be a little bit lower because, thanks to Lillian, it's the only way that we know what the thing was supposed to be. Now, I kind of both love and hate the this Green Mountain map theme. It's very striking. I think it's a very good fit for this part of Norway, which is just a little bit down the way from Oslo. So southern Norway, and a little bit west and a little bit south of Oslo. It's I mean, there are some very striking. It's not flat land, okay, but we're not in that real mountainous, striking, iconic view. Still a very beautiful part of the world, and I think the theme kind of just about does it, although it also to me looks a bit fuzzy felt. Anybody played with fuzzy felt? I think so. Yeah, and that's the thing for me. The theme is a little bit, it's a little bit playland. I don't buy this as a realistic theme. I like it. I think it's very aesthetic. I don't really buy it as a realistic theme. It's more playland. It's kind of fuzzy felt. Anybody ever play with fuzzy felt? It's a little bit fuzzy felt to me. Oh, ignore the red bend in the river here. Okay, that's my least favourite part of the map right there. We're not going to look at it again because I actually like the map overall. I don't want to bring the map down by focusing on one little niggly bend there, especially with a newish creator anyway. But anyway, yeah, fuzzy felt. It's got kind of fuzzy felt feel, which again can have very special aesthetics when building a city. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. And in terms of realism, well, there's a certain bit of liberalism being taken with this area. First, we're heading up to the Kvelda area right here. Kvelda start square intersection, and yeah, there we go. Plenty of nice. It's very enticing. It's a small town build. Not going to be doing a huge big grid city. Don't expect to be. And I think that's very nice, very enticing. I'll be very happy to build in that area myself. We do have a little bit of stop-start traffic. Okay, this is the bigger problem. Having said that, we are right down the start square, so it's fixable from the off as a city builder. But yeah, a little bit of stop-start. Traffic Manager President Edition I would highly recommend as well to help with the traffic getting into an appropriate lane and getting that fixed there. But when I say, yeah, the map is liberally done. Most of the roads in this area are national style roads, or one lane in each direction. We don't have 2-lane highways. We certainly don't have any splendiferous intersections. And I use the word splendiferous because we've got a very splendiferous intersection just coming around the bend here. But yeah, so there's none of this. And the routes, while the route that we're taking at the moment is, I think, roughly about correct, it gets a little bit creative. The routes get a little bit creative. So if you're looking for a one-to-one true recreation of Kvelda, you'll be a little bit disappointed, if that's what you're looking for. Alright, a lovely butterfly parklow here. That's very sweetly done. I like it. Again, it's not there in real life at all, anything like it. In fact, I'm not even sure there's a junction here in real life. We do have intersection marking tool in operation. If you've got intersection marking tool, you'll have some markings down. They're not the most polished, pretty intersection markings that I've seen. There's plenty to talk about. I'm not going to, again, with today's map and today's focus, I'm not really going to focus on the markings there. But if you have intersection marking tool, we've got some things that are there just ready to be tweaked to make them a little bit more perfect. A bigger problem for me is right underneath here. We've got a few pillars on the road and they can easily be adjusted and fixed out. A little bit of road glitching, terrain glitching through the roads there as well. Now, this road in real life should take us down to Larvik. Now, Larvik is about there. And the road would go more or less, I mean, it has to bend a bit because we've got hills, but it would go more or less in a straight line down there. And so if we were to follow this route, or route, I hate that word. If you're going to follow this route, how many times have I told you I hate route? Ugh. It's route as in boots, not route as in shout. Please, come on, America, sort yourselves out. Anyway, we've got the road's bending off this way, and it continues to bend off this way. Now, this is fictional. The road does not go off that. There might be a little road heading off this way. I did go down to Google Earth. Couldn't ascertain for certain if there's a road going off this way, but it's certainly not the main route. The main route would go down to Larvik, down there where you've got the lots of water on the edge of the tile there. Right, speaking of water at the edge of the tile, we've got some water on the edge of the tile here, and we have been canny enough to elevate the rail so we don't have any water flooding on the rail. Now, that is good work, because that is something that a lesser creator might have missed, and having a flooded rail at the edge of the map is it's a modicum for disaster, because the trains are not going to be coming in. Now, the route that it takes, the rail that it takes, it's not too bad. It's bordering on realistic. Norway has rail. It does. And it has to make its way around and about lots of hills and mountains. You can see here by this cutting and the general route, we're not doing any silly routes here. Now, there is a little bit of uppy downiness, but for the sort of map that we're looking at and the sort of that we're veering a little way from the realistic routes, and I'm pretty sure there isn't a rail route coming through this way in real life. But as we're going to allow for a little bit of creativity on this version of Kvelda, this is probably the worst bit, going up and over this hill here and down the slope on the other side. We call it the worst part. You look at that, it's not bad, is it? It's not bad. It's just, it's not a shining example of true realism, is it? Start square's just there, so we've got rail quite close to the start square. We came in from that direction, so we're not going to go back that way, because that would be a little bit, repetitive. Got catenary chaos, that's for the BonBonBingo players there. Yeah, the catenary lines on the rail, which would cause for a minor disaster, so let's not have that, please. And then the rail route follows, again, a sensible route all the way up along the river valley here. It's very sweetly done. As creators go, I think the new creators are getting better and better and better. I think are inspired by better maps from the better creators, and maybe from one or two of them watching this show and just going, I'm not going to make that mistake. I don't want BonBon calling me up on that one. Well, this one does have one more mistake to come. I don't know if you can guess what it's going to be. Well, I kind of highlighted on it earlier, not being a mistake. Well, we've kind of gone and shot ourselves in the foot a little bit down here. With the rail line, remember that water at the edge? Well, yeah, we've got a rail line going through perma-flooding. This isn't temporary, this is permanent. You're going to get no trains go through that. They're not going to like that. And I would say, quite rightly, too. It might be a bit slippery on those rails there. But yes, permanent flooding going on at this end. That said, is the rail broken? Well, no, because we have access at the other end. So you will be able to get trains in and out, but just not on the route down there to Larvik. Anyway, we've got a little bit of flooding at this end as well. I thought I'd point this one out. Somebody probably would have spotted it, but I didn't mention it. We have, yeah, just a few trees that are a little bit splashed there. That bothers me less because it's aesthetic and it's off towards the edge of the map, not game changing. Anyway, love this intersection, even though it doesn't exist and there is some fine tuning to be made. But we're going to head off this way. Again, this is another 100% fictional route. And because it's fictional completely and the standards along here are very nice, I thought we'd show it. Also notice no trees on the road. Lots of credit for that because this is a sort of map where there would be a lot of trees on the road. The standards on both maps today are pretty strong. I'm going to say it. Anyway, the route it takes here, again, there's no multi-lane highways along here. And this bridge is 100% fictional. I've had a look down again, back down to Google Earth. Had to check Google Earth a lot on this map. And yeah, there's so much of it, that the networking that is completely, complete creativity on the hands of the creator AM9230. Right, okay, let's have a little look at the shipping routes. Are you expecting any? Well, you should be. This is Norway, okay? We have shipping routes, and there are a couple. I mean, they're not the most magnificent, but given the space that we've got, they are appropriate. A little short dead end one there, and a longer one here, which manages to avoid all the lumps and the bumps and stay a suitable distance away from any problems. Just about avoiding pillar collision there, I think, maybe, and I think the bridge is probably high enough. And then we just follow our way. It gets a bit narrow up that fjord, but I think it works. So a credit to the creator for that. Water flow in the start square. Well, we have this winding river. It's not a very strong flow river. It's really not. But we have a length of it, so you could pump and draw into it. And there is a little bit of motion here as well. So, yeah, it's kind of doable. I would suggest definitely water towers on this particular map, though. And if you've got custom sewage or DLC sewage, I would go with those two. It's too pretty to spoil, isn't it? Now, Norway, it has lakes. It has a lot of little lakes. It's a little bit like Finland, only bumpy. Finland has the lakes, only it's flat. And Norway has the lakes, and it's bumpy. It's very pretty. It's so pretty. I think this map definitely does the lowland southern Norway aesthetics justice. I think it does a very good job of it, and it kind of makes me want to visit the area. I've got friends down. Well, I've got friends down in I would say not too far, roughly midway between Kvelda and Oslo. So hiya, hello. If you're watching, I'm talking about you. You know what I'm talking about. I've never been to see them. I would love to go and see them. Anyway, a little bit of flooding there, but again, that is believable on rivers such as this in this area, so I'm happy to let them go. It's not game changing. I'm good with it. Anyway, what do you think of today's first map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now or the link in the description. It will take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. Make sure you're voting on Kvelda, because there are 2 votes today. Again. Right, what do I think of Kvelda? Well, I think they've done a very nice job of giving the vibe of southern Norway. It's very sweetly done. I'm not a big fan of the theme, but I think it works, and I would go for middle 4. Having said that, the theme isn't listed, but I kind of want to credit the creator anyway, because I think they've done a sterling job. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it 4 stars, but I'm going to really put it right at the bottom end. I think normally if this was anybody else, it'd be into 3 stars, but I think I want to credit it. Detailing, on the whole, pretty strong. Is it 4-star level? I think the tree painting might be bordering on it, given the style of the map that we're on, but it's middly high 3. Gameplay potential, if you want to recreate Kvelda, it's not true, but it could still be a nice play. So I'm gonna go for a very high 3 stars. It feels good. It feels nice. Kvelde, Norway by AM 92030. But a real life recreation map? No, not with those highways and rail. Anyway, got a really nice one coming up after this. Right, today's second map is a little bit special. Just a little bit. It's a real life location in China. The networking is on point with this one. Very, very nicely done. Not bad at all for a first time creator. Yes, here we go.
It's my first map.
That's right. And it's really going to test my Chinese because the Chinese, the name of the map is in Chinese and the Chinese name of the map is also in Chinese. So I'm going to have a go and then I'll abbreviate it for the rest of the review because I don't want to be doing it multiple times, even though you would be laughing at me. Anyway, today's second map is Foshan Sanctuary Sinan街道及周边, or Foshan Sanctuary Southwest Street and surrounding areas. Yeah, by 972879039. There's your start square. I think we'll call him 972 from now on. Yeah, okay. And Foshan Sanctuary for the name of the map. There's your terrain heights, plenty of buildable space there, a little bit of resource painting, which makes it workable, I feel, in terms of how I'd want to play it, when the resources are in kind of the right places. The Sunset Harbour fishing map is a bit bland, but it's not always about the fish. Right, okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, Stray Cats Territory Homecoming theme. We've got some elevated rail and stuff. A few trees, 5 trees, not too many things. Now, that long description there is very nicely done according to what I can get from Google, and basically says, hey, listen, this is the area. It's very nice, and it's my first map. And yeah, it is what it is. Right, okay, let's get the elephant out of the room. Oh no, let's save the elephant in the room for a moment. Save it for one more moment. Look at this, rail over road, and look at how slickly done. On the whole, you're going to see a lot of very slickly done on today's... Oh, blimey, through my room there. Yeah, very slickly done. Look at the way that the rail comes smoothly up and smoothly over. It's slightly less smoothly going down the other side. It's still smooth. It's just not quite as smooth. You can see just a little bit of a drop down there a little bit too quickly. Also, we've got a little bit of zigzags in the terrain there. It's the only place on the map I found zigzags on the terrain. It just stands out because it's unusual on this map to see them. Now, the other thing that has stood out, and I'm sure regulars to the show will already be going, BonBonB. Look at the amount of traffic. Wow. Well, it's a good thing we've got 4 lanes with that amount of traffic all going down the road at the same time. Yes, it's a 4-lane highway. Yes, it's a mass transit 4-lane highway. Yes, you do need mass transit for this one. No, mass transit is not listed on the workshop page. Yes, that means I am going to be an absolute sore ass at the end of the review. And yes, it means technically the map is broken and will only get 1 star for gameplay. However, I will tell you how many stars it should have got. And it is just it's a first map. It's a beginner era, okay? It's a beginner. If this was their 12th map and they've got several multi-star maps up until... It's first time round. So I'm going to be a little bit more forgiving this time. Just this time. And if it happens again... Oh, if it happens again, don't leave me. And if it happens again, we're not going to let you off. Not that I expect they'll be watching the show, because I imagine that English isn't even a 4th language for them. I hope it is. I mean, if their English is way better than my simplified Chinese. I don't even know which version of Chinese I'm looking at. There's so many. In every country. I mean, how many versions of English are there? Many. I'd like to think I speak it's the King's English now. I was going to say the Queen's English. A little bit of glitching on the roads there. It's just a little bit, stretchy. Intersection there is a little bit orcs as well, but it's the real life area, and I can't really have too much of a go about that. I can't really. I could say yeah, but your gameplay. this is the sort of map where I'm sure you will find, if you're building your own version of Foshan Sanctuary, you're gonna be finding your own solutions. If you're recreating the city, I think you're going to be using a lot of mods. Oh, why not? Why not? That's what they're there for, to have fun with. Do you know what? This game has survived so well because of mods, hasn't it? Next intersection, just look at this. Just look at the quality of the intersection works going on. Start Square is this kind of area. I don't remember exactly where it is around here, but you can see it's very buildable, very open. We haven't put any trees down, and the highways are enticing you to get stuck in. And I like being enticed to get stuck in, especially at restaurants. Right, rail. The rail is good, as you've seen already. Let me just show you here as well. There's a tiny little minor issue under here, but I'm really happy to let it go, because suspension of disbelief and all that, right? We got the two catenary cables are running along the top there, and the bridge just cuts into the top one. Now, I can imagine ways that is, yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about catenary cables. I have no catenaries down this part of the United Kingdom, but the bottom one is available, and so I'm happy to let that go. I think it looks good. I think it works. It's technically wrong, I know, but it's good for me. Right, okay, multi-lanes now. We do have multi-lines even. We do have a little bit of catenary chaos here and there, a little bit of terrain glitching again on the underside of the rail here and there. But given what we're looking at with the complexity and the overall standard of the map, these are little things that shouldn't really put you off from playing. You will notice that we've got rails splitting off and going in different directions and stuff. And again, the routes that they take and the smoothness of the lines, let's ignore the fact it's a branch line. Yeah, branch line jokes, blah, 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 blah. But yes, trees under the rail, that's down to, well, I would say the creator forgetting. Because they have cleared the highways. I haven't seen any trees on the highways. Yeah, the highways have been cleared. Oh, a few trees over there. I say that, and then off in the corner of the map there, we've got a few trees under the highway. But all told, I think they've done a pretty smart job. But yeah, trees under the highway, that's just an anarchy setting. And so if you're watching your first review, shipping route here goes up and through the bridges. We'll have a close look at the bridges and the shipping routes in a moment. But yes, anarchy settings, just something so that people can do detailing with things under the roads and under the rail if they wish to, and it's also all part of the tree count as well. So I like to show how many things are hiding under the. I say it so often. Regulars to the show are probably fed up with me saying it, but I have to say it because it's always somebody's first show, and so there we go. A couple of neat little shipping triangles there. Not the most polished, but again, it doesn't matter because you're not going to notice once the ships are rolling around there. They are good enough. They're not pretty, but they are good enough in terms of gameplay. We've got water flow in the start square. It's very light. It's very, very light coming towards us here. But if you want to pump and draw, you can on this map, and it will work for you. Just make sure you do it right. Okay, all told, it's a nice map. It's a very nice map. Quite often these Chinese maps, and I don't really want to come down too hard on the Chinese creators, but quite often they just feel a bit shoddily and a bit rushed, and this one doesn't. This one feels very well and very nicely done. And just like there are lots of little areas as well as the area for the big city. And then of course we got the very nicely done intersections as well. This wasn't put together in 20 minutes, this map. This took, I would say, weeks. Quality through and through. Other things to talk about. Right, okay. Minor grumbles time. I like the height of the bridge. I don't love the height of the bridge because we have got a little bit of catenary chaos. We've got streetlight clipping just on the undersides here. So that's fixable with network skins or whatever version of mods we're using in this day and age. Now I'm losing track. Here, these are very nice as well. Again, very nice intersection. We do have a slight problem down here with pillars. Sure, somebody spotted this earlier on the fly through. It was very clear. I didn't say anything because I was saving it for later. So yes, we've got a few pillars occasionally here and there. I haven't checked the entire map for others, but it wouldn't surprise me if there were more. This little parkland area is very nice. I'm guessing it's parks down here. Again, we do have all the non-highway networks have a tendency to have a little bit of tree coverage on the underside. So there might be some work for the perfectionists out there to clean up if that's what you want to do. But I imagine that's park area. It looks like park area to me. Big park. Now these custom bridges are very, very nice, and the ships do pass right through the middle. I'll show you the shipping route in a moment. They pass right through the middle. I haven't checked to see whether there's any clipping, but it's very close, especially with the vanilla cruiser. So if you're using custom boats, smaller boats, you'll have no problems at all. If you're using the vanilla cruiser, it's possible you're going to get a little bit of scrapage. So just if you're taking pretty screenshots, just make sure you wait for the boats to pass right through them before you grab your screenshots. And those trees, I can't stop seeing the trees now under the highway over there. It's just the way in it. The hills on this map, I think they work very nicely for the map. I'm not the world's biggest fan of that the terrain brush that's used there, but I think they work very well on the map, so that's all good. Got a few nice shaped lakes over this side and some nice shaped fields over here as well. This is like jigsaw pit fields, and again it really does feel like it just like balances the curves of the map. You got a map that's full of curves, then you get this little jaunty zigzag area, and it is just lovely. Again, we do have a few they've gone to town with the tree painting there, and I think completely forgotten about the roads. It's oops time. All right, now this is the no you don't intersection. What do I mean by it looks more like a coat hanger, right? But what do I mean by, oh, it's a B, it's a BonBon. No, what do I mean by the no you don't intersection? This is the intersection where you're driving along, you go, I want to go over the bridge. No you don't. Oh, okay, well, go this way then. It's the no you don't intersection, right? Silly thing. But yeah, I understand. I truly understand. I'm just playing. I'm being silly with you, okay? Alright, so what do you think of today's second map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now or the link in the description. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. But make sure you're voting on Foshan Sanctuary Sinan街道及周边by 9728 79039. You've been waiting for me to repeat that. What do I think? What do I think of this map, Sanctuary? It's nice. I think aesthetically, it's really ticked the boxes. The homecoming theme, I think, works very nicely for it as well. It's a bit of a winner. Is it iconic enough? No, but I think certainly the networks, the trees, and the fields all pull it in together. I'm going to go for 4 stars. I'm going to go slightly below middle 4. I like it. I like it a lot. Detailing, I want to go higher. It's definitely a 4-star map. There are some niggly bits. It's a lowish 4 stars for me. Gameplay potential, I like this a lot. I mean, I really like it a lot. I cannot state how much I like it. I can't give it 5 stars because there's too much cleaning up with trees under the roads. But we'll go very high 4. But there it goes. Mass transit is needed. Has to get the 1 star. But I like it a lot. I like it so much that even with that 1 star, I'm giving it the BonBonB seal of approval. However, if you don't have mass transit, it is 1 star and no seal of approval. But I'm going to give it a seal of approval because I think this creator needs to keep making maps. If they do the same thing next time, there's no seal of approval because there's no learning curve. And there we go. Anyway, well, thanks for watching, commenting, for liking, and for subscribing, and for making it through another week. Now, if you're a little bit behind, there are some maps from this week, and also Friday's map from last week. And also, if you're still here, you are part of the 20 and Out Elite. Use the words of the day to prove you're part of the 20 and Out Elite, and I'll be back with plenty more coming very, very soon. And the World Cup too.